What's up, Joe? Welcome back, man. Appreciate you, buddy. I like that helmet, though. Looks good.
We talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gon' happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it out to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my faith and money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog?
That's right. They got to play us. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,358 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter X and you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you got something you want to ask the Godfather, and you don't know who the Godfather is, then you haven't been watching my show. He's AC, Anthony Coseanzs. Or you want to support the show, or you want to give Mark, third down guy, wild man, a shout out, give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down there. It's the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what I wear at every single day? We have the greatest quarterback in the league. His name is Jackpot Joey. He was at practice today. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. He was at practice, He wasn't throwing or doing anything. He just stood around. At least he was out there. But if you want any of the gear, it's at jackpotjoey9.com, which is right there. We got the shirts, the hats. The beer is at Brink Brewery. Portions of the proceeds for all this go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and the Joe Burrow Foundation. Also, I haven't talked about this a whole lot lately because I hadn't forgot about it, but we had an original date, then we moved it. But I think it's October 7th. Anyway, the Jackpot Joey Cornhole Tournament at Brink Brewery is on. To register, go to brinkbrewery.com. They have the registration there, the fee, everything that comes with your registration. So make sure you go there and get signed up. They got a Chili Fest, their fall festival. They're doing some kind of brewing contest or something. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you guys head out there. Joey Cook is trying to hook us up with some current or former Bengals to show up. So make sure you guys show up there and have a great time with us. What's up there, everybody in the chat? Now, it's shocking. Stranger was not first today. Brad was first. What's up? Charles H., I love it. You said we should have 21-point lead by halftime. I love it. I'm with you. I hope so. We'll see. Crypt Keeper's in there. Pork Chop's in there. Lindsay's in there. Paul's in there. Ross is in there. Greg, Tom, and the usual suspects. All right. Let's get to my wonderful guests of the day. Like I said, he is the Godfather, Anthony Coseanzs. What's up, Godfather?
Hey, good memories on that picture you always show when I come on, man. Good to see you. How's it going, Jeff? I gotta up my merch game, dude. You got all kinds of beers and hats and shirts and all kinds of stuff, man. I gotta up my
kinds of stuff. Yeah. Well, like I said, you have a hat.
all great stuff.
But see, but I have to give you a shout out. You're looking stylish today. You're not wearing a hat. You got a nice haircut. You're looking slick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. When I'm 41's right around the corner for me, so I'm like, man, do I just want to just keep wearing the hats? Do I want to try and style the hair? I don't know. I had a business.
You're almost 41, man. I'm glad I'm not that old.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a bit older than that. Anyway, let's get the crazy man here, Mark Walters, third down guy. What is up, Mark?
Nothing much. How you guys doing today?
Good. Mark was literally in the car driving here. I'm like, dude, I am not putting you on the show when you're driving. You got to get home first.
No, it's a good, buddy. I made it, traffic, got done, pumped some iron, get ready for this money, for this Y out. What's you guys Y out? Like,
yeah.
What?
Come on. The outline of white.
Come on.
Joey says white.
It's all good.
I've saved mine for Monday. I gotta, make it give everybody something to look forward to. What am I gonna wear? I'm like,
You got something special for us?
No, nothing special at all. Probably the same thing I wore last year. But I'm like a runway model. I go out there and like, oh my god, what's Ice wearing? I'm totally kidding.
Well, I'm glad he worked out the pipes for that first down. That first down sign, he worked out the pipes to get it going on Monday night.
Exactly. Well, he does this the whole time, so he's got to get his
arm. There you go. That's right.
Right. Hey, no. Hey, I gotta let you guys know I was cramping on Sunday. I was cramping from my bicep.
We're gonna put you in IR.
Well, bicep and my obliques on my right side. I was in pain, but I was still waiting my time. I was kind of holding my bicep. I hope I didn't tore my bicep. That would not be good.
Strain.
You're straight. Yes, we do a strain.
Yeah.
We don't tear. Nothing's tore.
I know.
It's a strain. All right.
I know. Well, I was kind of worried because I was it was, and I was rubbing it and all that stuff. Mary Beth, who went to games, she was rubbing my obliques and all that stuff. I was like, it was bad. It was bad. I never clamp up like that before. It was terrible. It was bad.
Now that's a guy who takes one for the team right there. He had to go get an ice bath after watching a Bengals game.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, hopefully, temperature will be nice and cool. So better drink a lot of water, all that stuff. So it was a little warm on Sunday, but not like his preview bat season openers, home openers, sunny, your face all burning up and everything. So yeah.
The one AC went to was hot as hell. You were at that Minnesota game.
That was a warm one. Yeah.
Dude,
that was a warm one.
I was done after that game. I was so hot. I'm like, geez. But
we have Minnesota fans. Oh, go ahead.
I said we had some good news today. I got a video to prove it. I don't know, what it means, but just check this out. What's up, Joe? Welcome back, man. Appreciate you, buddy. I like that helmet, though. Looks good. He was out there. He didn't do anything that I saw, but he was out there. And from his press conference, he said he's preparing to play Monday. He said he doesn't know if that means he's going to play Monday. I don't know about you guys. The more and more we get to this, and he's out of practice, and he says he's preparing to play, and Zach says, or take it day by day, yada yada. I think he's playing. I don't know. What do you think, AC?
Well, I think it was Mike Petraglia, and I think maybe James Rapine and a couple of others he was throwing, but it wasn't like practice throwing. It was more like kind of warming up and just so he's doing something, which is good to see. Obviously,
that must have been before I got to the bridge because I didn't see.
Yeah, I think it was early. I think it was early. My take has been, and I said this last week, that I think and maybe this is a total obvious statement, I don't know, but just if it's been determined that this is not going to be something that leads to an Achilles, leads to an ankle, leads to a tear, leads to anything like that, if this is strictly a pain management type of situation, I think Burrow goes. Just knowing who Joe Burrow is, knowing what it's about. Obviously, they'll play it smart, but if it's a pain management type of thing, I think it's like he's like, dude, this season. I think he understands the expectations around this season.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, if this isn't going to risk a major, major injury by playing on it, it's more just going to be annoying. I think he just continues to play through it.
That's where I'm at. As long as it's not going to lead to something else, I think he's going to play. And people keep bringing up Aaron Rodgers. And the more I've kind of dug into it, well, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he pulled his calf, but he tore his Achilles on his other foot. So it had nothing to do with, him straining his calf. It was the other foot. And plus, he's almost 40. I said there's a difference. So Mark, what do you think? You think Joe's playing Monday, or what do you got?
Of course, he's playing. Today was just a mental rep.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we're playing the Monday night game, so we have an extra day. So them guys have extra day to rest and all that stuff. So, Monday, Tuesday, then it plats on a Wednesday for Sunday game. But we have an extra day to rest and all that stuff. Today was just all mental rep to get out there, get ready and all that stuff. And Jake did get a lot of all the rep, just in case if some reason he don't play. But today was a mental rep, like ACC, was just throwing the ball out, get that arm movement. But today was just be by the coach, know what type of defense that Rams going to show out on Monday and all that. Today was just a mental rep. I think tomorrow he will practice it, but limit, like he won't probably do any drills. It'll probably be 7-on-7, probably 11-on-11. Then after that, on Saturday, he's probably going to be taking all the team rep and all that stuff. Today was just a mental rep because, I used to play football. I remember I suffered an injury with my chest, playing. And my coach had me not practice one day, just take mental rep and all that stuff. Then after that, the next day, practice and all that stuff, fully practice. I think he will play 100%. I think he is ready to go and all that. And like I watched the show on Monday, like Cole Deals, like you guys say, we can't take a month off with Joe Burrow. We're 0-2. If you take a month off, you can kiss the season goodbye, get ready for next season, get ready for the draft. But we can't do that. If we want to set him out, we should set him out the first 2 games and all that stuff. But now we're 0-2. We're far behind. We lost 2 divisions game and all that stuff. We can't afford him sitting out for a month. It's just dumb enough to do that and all that stuff because you're just kissing the season goodbye. But he will play tomorrow. He will get some repetition and all that stuff. Then Saturday he will get 4 reps, and then Sunday just walk through and all that stuff. But today was just mental rep, just being out there, throwing the ball and all that stuff. Just get ready for this upcoming Monday.
One thing he said in the press conference, and I'm trying to remember exactly how he said it, but he kind of said he doesn't exactly need to practice fully to be ready to play against the Rams. I can't remember exactly how he said it. I don't know if you guys can clarify. Remember what he exactly said, but he said something to that effect. So I don't know if he's going to be full participation in any of the practices, to be honest.
I would doubt it. I would doubt that he would be a full participant, at least in these first couple of weeks after re-aggravating it.
Right.
I would think that they're just going to be super cautious about it and, keep treating it probably, a lot of fluids and stuff to avoid any kind of cramping and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not a medical professional, not a physical therapist, anything like that.
But Pork Chop is, and he said that Joe's playing, but he's a psych nurse.
There you go.
Okay. Nurse works it out.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing with it, I think there's a little bit of worry when you hear like, well, I don't need to go full practice. I don't have the quote in front of me either, but
yeah,
you hear that and you go, well, damn, after what happened the last 4 summers now, you're like, huh. I mean, let's take the practices when we can get them. But I think at this point, acclimated to the team, acclimated to the offense by this point, his 4th season. And then, guys, if you look, I think one of the main encouraging points, despite, late in the game, he re-aggravated the calf. One of the more encouraging points I felt from last week was that second half, you felt the rhythm coming back.
Right.
You felt things kind of turning. He was hitting T. Higgins a little bit more regularly. Joe Mixon's been their most consistent player, probably on both sides of the ball so far this year.
Yep.
And so that's what encouraged me. Now, granted, he threw that bad interception. Some people say it was a great play by Stone to cut in front there. I think you just kind of let it hang a little bit there. But regardless, they were moving there. They had 2 more touchdowns. I mean, I guess from that standpoint, when he says, about the comment about practicing, you can kind of say, well, let's look back at last week and find some optimism.
Yeah, and one thing, I rewatched the game on NFL Network the other night, and like you said, the last drive before he hurt himself, he looked fine. People said he wasn't moving. No, he was moving outside the pocket and everything. If you go watch that last drive, he looked like Joe Burrow, all up till when he actually like until he hobbled off the field. I didn't even know he was hurt until then. So, I mean, and that's the thing is, and I do agree with the AC that's where I don't know if, like he said, him not practicing, I think Joe needs to practice because that's what we've seen the last 2 years where he hasn't practiced. He hasn't gotten those reps, those physical reps. I think he needs those reps to get that timing going. So, but you don't want to take a chance of aggravating the calf in practice, so that's where I would be surprised if he does practice fully anyway. I think he is going to practice some, but not fully till Monday. But I mean, that's where it's kind of catch-22 because don't you agree that he's got the slow starts his last couple of years because he hasn't practiced, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mark's probably got some thoughts on it too, and I want to hear his. But really, for me at this point too, I think what I was kind of alluding to a little bit is some of that rust from not practicing for 5 weeks, not getting the preseason game. You kind of feel like that's starting to get knocked off now with 8 full quarters of play, right? And the last 2 showing a lot of promise and moving the ball and everything. But to your point, Jeff, I think it's not so much more like, hey, let's rebuild the rhythm now at this point. I think it's more like he needs to take snaps to be able to know how his calf feels,
yes,
and how he can plant, and if there is pain, how he has to make adjustments to how he throws, all of that stuff in a game situation. Because this is the bottom line, whether he plays or not this week, and I think we're all in agreement that he's going to play. This isn't going to go away for another couple of weeks. So that in that respect, I think getting practice reps, planning on the thing, seeing how it feels, and knowing if he needs to make certain adjustments to things. That's the important thing to me.
Right, exactly. What do you got, Mark?
I agree. I mean, like ACC, second half, we saw an offense clicking. They was moving the ball downfield. T. King was getting the ball and all that stuff. Yeah, that intercept that killed us because Ravens just marched right downfield and scored. And looking the replay after we throw that pick, that safety, he just made a great read. He knew that Joe Burrow was going to throw T. King, and I saw it as like, man, like he knew it. He was going to throw across the middle and stuff. But we saw that Joe Burrow was throwing the ball tight window. Like one play, T. Higgins was getting double T, and some reason Joe Burrow got it in that tiny little window. And I was like, okay, that's the Joe Burrow we know. Just
I know
exactly. 4 guys.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Dude,
I my brother-in-law was at the game with me, and I said, dude, did you see how tight that window was? It was like you said, 4 guys. That to me, I'm like, that's a Joe Burrow play. That's jackpot right there. Like he can make those all the time, and that gave me encouragement. Like, all right, we're getting there. He's getting back on track. So yeah, that's what was encouraging about. Now, the part that I find the hardest to understand is the defense of how we played against the Ravens. And I know Lamar had a good game. I keep saying this. I'm not trying to take anything from Lamar. But some of those passes, anybody can make them because not anybody, but a lot of people can make them because we got no pressure on him. Now, he did make some great plays. Don't get me wrong. But the majority of the time, we got no pressure on him, AC. That was the surprising thing. Now, hopefully, Joseph Wasai, the cool thing when I went to the practice day, there's nobody on the rehab field. Nobody. So everybody was practicing, including Joseph Wasai. So getting him back, hopefully we can get some pass rush on Stanford this week because we haven't had any.
Yeah, and I think some of that was by design, right? They did contain on the edges. That's what they do with Lamar. They do some spy stuff. I mean, so I think all of that was a bit by design, but Lamar made Lamar plays, man. I mean, that's the bottom line. The most maddening play of that entire game wasn't even for a first down, but it was a 2nd and 23, and Mark Andrews gets 21 yards.
Yes.
That was the most maddening play of the entire game for me. When he caught the ball, it was more of a 14, 15-yard play, and then he kind of had guys on him and carried him for another 5-6 yards or whatever.
But those are the plays that
was the play where I'm like, man, this just isn't this. I don't want to say that I was like, oh, they're going to lose. It was more just like, man, this is not going their way today. You know, I mean, you get them in this really bad situation, and you let up plays like that. There were a couple of deep balls. Granted, the nice one to Zay Flowers where he made a nice play, but Lamar still struggles a little bit with consistency on the deep ball. There was another shot to the end zone where he had a capability to make a big play there. So there's some, there's still some issues with the deep ball, but he made a lot of plays. He made runs that were maybe should have been 2-3 yards into 6-7 yards, including the one at the end of the game there. So, I mean, there's just he had a great game against a game plan that was a little bit flawed this week, I think.
Yeah, and I was just surprised that we never like Lou usually changes something up. I know they hate the word halftime adjustments, but they do adjust, they change. But nothing really ever changed on the defense. We really, even when we tried to go up the field to get pressure on him, well, then we lost contain, and that's when he started running on us then, which is smart on Lamar. I mean, they gave it to him, and he took off. That was the thing that was surprising to me, that we just didn't change at all. We couldn't stop them. It was over the middle, open all day long. That's the part that just drove me nuts, and I could not believe that we couldn't change that, because we have been so good at actually containing Lamar the last couple of years of getting pressure on the up to him and making him throw, but covering the tight end. We didn't do that Sunday. Go ahead, Mark.
No, because like I say, Mark Andrews is the whole time offense. I mean, yeah, they got some good wise.
Uh-oh.
He's the number one guy to go. Oh, that's my earbud playing.
You're back. You're back. Good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Mark Andrews, that's the guy. If you shut him down, then you got to have his receiver like OBJ and Flower and all them guys beat us. And I mean, that one, like AC said, that one pass, that Flower catch, that long bet. If Cam Taylor had one more step on it, he covered him good. He just did not have that one step, and that could have been a bad. It was a pass. Right, it was a great pass. But if Cam Taylor had 1 or 2 step on that, could have been a bad ball. It could have been a pick. Because like, man, if he was 1 or 2 step and or like forward and all that stuff, that would be a pick, and that'd be a great play by us. But I mean, he did make good play by passing and all that stuff. I mean, but we did keep him outside contained. We did see that, but we had nobody when he runs the ball in the middle, like scramble up the middle. We had nobody, step up and tackle him all that stuff. Like like we did our job containing him outside, but it was nobody coming up and fill up the middle of that stuff. So yeah, I mean.
Another good one. What was who? I can't remember who caught the touchdown. But I know Cheeto was on the coverage, and it was
Aguilar out of the slot.
Yeah, and Cheeto
he just kind of ran like a was post route.
And Cheeto was there. But it was another another good pass by Lamar. I mean, it wasn't those things, when they make a really good pass. There's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about it. I mean, and we said, I mean, what we were just talking about with Joe. You make the perfect pass. I don't care if there's 4 guys around him or not. But if it's a perfect pass, you get it right in that window. You can't defend that.
Right. Yeah, I just want to say something as well. I mean, I know we're kind of banging on the defense a bit, and I mean, there's good reasons for it. The tackling's been a little suspect the first 2 weeks. Obviously, the elements in the first week didn't help anything, and then but I mean, you look at the first week, Deshaun Watson was under 150 yards passing, right? They forced 2 turnovers. They were +2 in the turnover margin in the Cleveland game, and they had 3 sacks on Watson. Usually on the road.
Uh-oh.
I'm waiting for AC to come back. He has a very good point. I can tell. It's coming to him.
That gives you a point. Freeze? Did I freeze? Sorry.
You did freeze. There you go.
Sorry about that.
Right.
I'm sure it was a beautiful face.
It was. You had a really deep thought.
No, but I think if you look, my point was, if you look drive summer of the games of the Bengals off, it's 3 plays, 2 yards, punt. 3 plays, 2 yards, punt. So, if the defense does let up a bad drive like they did to open the game against Baltimore, the Bengals offense had been responding with 3 plays, 2 yards, punt ball, 3 play. And so you're not doing your defense any kind of favor by doing that. And then the first touchdown the Bengals score, it was on a punt where they didn't even have the offense on the field, so they had to send the defense right back out again. And so they're just playing a lot of snaps. And I think, when you don't have Osai to come in and relieve some of those rotational edge snaps and everything, I mean, you're seeing a little bit of fatigue at some point, especially with the offense being ineffective.
I agree with that. And that's we now toward the second half, it was a little more, we were able to move the ball more on offense. So the defense wasn't out there as much, but that was definitely the problem in Cleveland. They were out there just way too much. Now, to get back to the punt return, Chuck Sizzle had out there. That was the first punt return we had since Pac-Man. And that was, I was getting so irritated with the refs. Thank God they pulled that flag from off of Yossi. Because I don't know about you guys. I looked at the replay like, oh, that could have been a block, an illegal block. But either way, it was iffy. But I mean, I'll take that compared to some of the other calls. Like the one they had against Cam Taylor-Britt was ridiculous.
Oh, that was terrible. That's so
OBJ
terrible.
grabbed his arm and pulled him down. None of that stuff's the reason we lost. I hate when they make those egregious, calls.
Yeah, and Terry in your chat here, the Lamar fumble thing, even though that didn't lead to points or anything like that, that would have been a big momentum swing if that just and even the announcers in that, and even in the announcers in that game were like, this is a really questionable call. I mean, I don't know if you watch that. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff, and of course it's Hockey and the Hockeyleys, whether it's senior or junior, like to explain their calls. Yep. Confer with their group almost way too much, and I think that's what we kind of saw a little bit on Sunday.
Hey, tell you the truth, I got on him before the third quarter. He came over, gave me a fist bump. Like, hey, I love you guys, but call both ways. He's like, are you having fun? It's like, yeah, I'm having fun, but call both ways. And I think he got a little. I mean, it's that Cam Taylor legal content. That was bogus call. That was a joke. I mean, he grabbed him. Like, come on now. And like they missed so many calls. That first half, it was like on us, and all that stuff. And I remember that fumble. Did we recover that on the end? And they called legal hand in the face or something on us. Yep. So yeah, and like I say, and like us fans, and they called legal man downfield against our linemen. And the rules say, and the rules say a lineman can at least have 3 yards downfield. He was on the line of scrimmage. We was like, where's the legal man downfield? Like, them guys, but I did give him a talk and like, dude, call both ways. And that's all. He's like, it's like you have fun, like,
guy was speaking to you, all right?
I know. And well, I really went down. It's like, hey, come here. I'm like, come here. I gave him the finger. Like, come here.
Get over here. You're in trouble.
It's like, and I gave him fist bump, but I just told and I say something nice. I didn't like cuss him out and not all that. It's like, just call it both ways. That's all I want. Call it both ways.
Did
well, they did. They did. I mean, the first half they called everything on us and everything. So, but it was funny. That was a great moment. I got to get on the referees on that. I mean, he is a Hockley. He's not like his dad that bumped some iron his bicep, but so. But
all right, Victor wants to comment on our 6th round punter. What do you guys think of the bald bomber?
Did a lot better than the first week. Did a lot better. Let's just say that. He didn't shake 2 punts.
Could be much worse.
It could be worse,
We got
like weather in the first one, right? I mean, so there's these kicking in crappy conditions. I mean, and then it's his first career pro game on top of that. And then, I mean, he's in his second game. Inconsistent, though. I do think there have been a handful of punts where you see that hang time that they really, really like, where the ball just sails up there. It doesn't go overly far, but you see a couple. Now, the problem is, I think, if I remember correctly, the Bengals have, I think they're tied for the most punts in the NFL currently at I think they're 13 total punts. And then Robbins, his net average is the lowest in the league right now. And of those 13 kicks, I think only 3 or 4 of them have landed inside the opposition's 20. Now, part of that is because the offense hadn't been moving the ball very well.
Right.
So, I mean, there is some stuff for sure that needs to improve there. But I think, again, rookie, bad weather in that first game. You saw, as Mark said, you saw some elements of improvement in the second game. And so, yeah, maybe as terrible as it seems, maybe some of these things that were such a struggle in the first game, you saw some improvements in the second game, and that's where you build.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing is, it kills me. I've seen him in practice, and he booms the hell out of the ball. Nice hang time. The guy catches it, and the coverage is already there. So I'm like, I know he can do it. I've seen it enough time in practice and stuff. So it's just, like I said, maybe rookie jitters. I don't know. I mean, I've never been.
Well, let's hope that we don't see him at all Monday night. We scored.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Like, he can just sit down, relax, have fun, drink Gatorade, and have chit chat. Hopefully you don't have to use
shine setup. The shine the setup.
Exactly. So yeah, hopefully you don't have to see him out all often. Just like I think we're gonna see our offense click. I think it's that time because what happened last year. We went 0-2. Monday's a must win. It's a must win. Can we go 0-3?
I'll kind of go with what Jeff Hobson says. Like, yes and no. It's not a must win until you get eliminated. It's going to be hard if they lose. Now, Mike Madden here. He said Mix is getting 4.5 yards per carry. Why isn't he getting more touches? I think he's going to start getting more touches. I think we're a passing offense. Whether anyone wants to believe it or not, we're going to pass the ball. And plus, when you're 10 points down, it's hard to run the ball. You got to get
Right.
back in the game more. What's your thoughts, AC?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's had 13 carries in each of the first 2 games, 13 carries apiece. He's done a couple of nice things in the passing game as well. Like I said, I think he's been the most consistent player really across the board for the team so far this year, even on limited touches. Regardless, though, and maybe this changes a little bit because of the Burrow injury and they alter some things, but I mean, the bottom line is the run is secondary in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mixon is a supplemental piece in this offense. This offense runs through its quarterback, it runs through its wide receivers, and that doesn't mean that Mixon doesn't deserve or will or won't get 20, 25 carries in a game. I think he needs to be closer to 20 carries right now with how he's running. On average, I think he needs to be about 20 carries, maybe 4 or 5 looks in the passing game. The other running backs really aren't giving you all that much. I know Trayvon's every time he's in there, pretty much he's either kind of running a little swing or he's in there helping out blocking, which is I kind of expected that a little bit. But I think just what he's giving you, he has earned more touches, particularly with Burrow's injury, but he's still a supplemental piece in this offense. It's Burrow, it's the receivers, and the passing game.
Exactly. That's what I always say. The thing is, if the Bengals can get out there and get a lead, I think that'll be more of to run the ball. Now, one thing I'm curious about, and I know it's stupid, but I talk about this a lot on the show, is the coin flip. And a lot last year, we started taking the ball and going out and scoring. And I know somebody asked Zach Taylor that this week. I don't remember what he said, but I honestly think that's something that they should probably do just to get out there, go get that lead. And make them chase us for once. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know the whole thing where you get at the halftime and all that stuff is great, but getting the lead, I think it's more important right now. Go ahead, Mark. What do you think?
I mean, why not? We did it last year, and we went on that big old win streak and all that. So let's try something different. I mean, this is game 3. Let's do it. And you know what? It's going to be a whiteout. We're going to be hype. We're going to be tailgating for 6-8 hours and all that
Mark's
stuff.
going to pull like 6 arm muscles while he's swinging his
Yeah,
towel.
exactly. But let's just start, like you say, let them chase us. Let's come out and just set the tone. Just set the tone and shove it down the Ram folk. And Donna, we got to shut him down. We got to shut him down. We got to protect Bud and all that stuff, because that's the guy we need to focus on to shut down. Then after that, we shut him down, then we can dispose the defense of the Rams and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think let's get the ball and let's set the tone and have a nice long drive, score a touch, just like we did with the Buffalo game, that Monday night game. Let's just set a standard that, hey, you know what? Our offense back, Joe Burrow back, T. Higgins, Jamal Chase, Nixon, and like AC said, get the ball to Nixon. He's been consistent. Then get that punch off Joe and all that stuff, and got to tell the line, just got to move Donna, got to move the whole offense, get back to the second level, get the linebacker, and just set the tone. Just start, offense, get them going, have the defense relax and all that stuff, have the set point 7-0 in the first, foot drive in the first quarter, and then after that, the defense can just pin the ear back and just knock the crap at Matthew Stafford, because he's not going to have his wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, not going to have them. Now you just got to put pressure on Stafford, blitz the crap at him, make him rattle, and make him all night just cry to his wife and his mama and everybody, So let's just start out, get in the ball, set the tone, score a touchdown. Let's see the old Bengals that we know, like we did the past 2 years. And I think we're going to see that during the Monday night game, because they're going to be ready and fire and ready to go.
All right, AC, what do you think? You think it all comes down to
there is wisdom in the, I just said, Mixon maybe is a supplemental piece in this offense, but there is wisdom, particularly this week with Donald and what he can do is from a pass rush standpoint to kind of negate that speed and his ability to get in the backfield with utilizing Mixon. So there is some wisdom on that front and giving him more carries this particular week, but we'll see what they actually do there. And truth be told, thinking about Mixon grinding out the clock later with a 7-10 point lead, kind of the old Jerome Bettis type of situation with
Corey
the Steelers,
Dillon. Clock killing Dillon.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of wisdom with that. And then the question was what was the other question there, Jeff?
Which one was it? Which one are you talking about? The running back? Bengals get in history, they usually win when the running back is.
No, there's another. I got on a tangent there.
The chat's blowing up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. No. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
No, you're good. You're good. I got something here for Pork Chop because Mark's talking about Cooper Kupp. Pork Chop is right.
Yeah.
He said the guy playing for Kupp has over 200 yards and 20-something catches, which is true. I cannot remember his freaking name. But yeah, he's going to be a guy that they're going to have to keep an eye on because and Matthew Stafford's playing good. So, I mean, he's looking like he was back to their Super Bowl year, and this dude is taking over for what Stranger said it's Puka
Nacua.
There you go. Puka Nacua. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a guy they're going to have to definitely keep an eye on. But and if you have Aaron Donald, if you could run the ball at him and be successful, you're going to keep him off Burrow.
Yeah, I actually remembered the other thought I was going to have because you were talking about the coin toss.
Yeah,
and getting the ball first, and I like what both of you said about that. Sorry, I'm going on like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, so I'm a little foggy today.
Last year I had about 2 hours of sleep on a show, and I ended it by telling you I love you, so I understand.
I love it. Hey, but aside from looking back at last year when they would get the ball first and go down and score, do you remember what they did often? What was such a key to their success in 21? It was getting the ball first, getting points, and then somehow getting their hands on the ball again before halftime and getting more points. And so all of a sudden, there's just this sandwiching right around halftime or coming out of halftime and getting points. I mean, they just were excellent at like working those situations, and that's what had them net a lot of wins in 21. Was utilizing that first possession and or the first possession before or after halftime. And I think that's an element that they should really try to execute again this year because that really puts an opponent behind an 8 ball.
Exactly. I remember them doing that 2 years ago. I think it was Thursday night game against Jacksonville. They did that. They were
Vikings and Green Bay. I remember that we scored before halftime and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We got the ball back and the momentum was us. I remember them.
And the thing is, we had a chance to do that this time, but we couldn't in the Ravens game. But we couldn't move the ball when we gave it back to the Ravens, and they went down and scored. So
right,
that's where our offense has got to get clicking. Which, like I said, I saw signs of the offense coming around. So as long as Burrow is healthy enough to execute the offense, I think we're going to be pretty good. Now, I saw Jake Browning and Will Greer in practice today. They took, all the reps, during the 7-on-7s or whatever. And it wasn't good. I'll tell you, I mean, the defense looked really good against them.
Right.
There's a lot of interceptions and stuff. And it's like, I'm sitting there watching it from the bridge going, people really want Jake Browning out there. I'm like, I'll take an 80% Burrow, man. I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, it's not. They're just not. Look, there's only one Joe Burrow. I mean, he's one of one, so it's hard to replace it. Now people go back. Well, that's why you should have upgraded the backup quarterback. You could, but I mean, I always go back to this. AC, they're a backup quarterback for a reason. Now, yes, can Jake Browning come in and win this game? I think they can. I think Zach can. Get a game plan around Jake Browning. Hell, he beat the Steelers with Finley, so I think you can. But I mean, are you of one thinking they should have upgraded the backup quarterback a little more than they had this year?
Yeah, but I think they did. I think they thought they did with Simeon, and Simeon came in and just didn't play it all that well, right? Yep. I mean, I think that everybody was like, "Hey, that's a pretty solid backup quarterback option for you." He's had some success in the league, a lot more touchdowns and interceptions, and I mean, had a win against the Bengals in which I was just so privileged to be there in person in 2016. That game was just freaking brutal. But I think they thought that they had it fixed, and then he came in and like, man, this is just not working there. Browning showed a little bit more, although it was just kind of but you're right. I mean, the backup quarterback's the most popular guy unless you have the guy on your roster, right? So I think you're kind of seeing a little bit of a weakness there, and I don't know. I'm not overly comfortable with that. And I think if the Bengals, granted, I like Jake Browning in some capacities, but we've seen when Brandon Allen has come in for Burrow. We've seen when Ryan Finley came in for Andy Dalton. We've seen you're not winning. You're not winning with your backup quarterback. So either
Most teams aren't. That's what you
aren't unless. And then the other option there is to then go, street free agent, whether that's Wentz or Newton or whatever. If you think that is a more viable option as a stopgap player for you to kind of keep the ship afloat.
Yeah, and then you're bringing a guy in off the street who's got to learn the offense on the fly and everything. Dean here says bring John Kidna back. Augie's got a question here. He said, as comparing to Finley, how would you rate Browning and Greer? I mean, honestly, I think they're better quarterbacks than Finley. I mean, if you remember that game, it wasn't like Finley was throwing the ball all over the place. He was doing a lot of quarterback sneaks and running around, running wide. And I mean, to this day, I still don't know how the hell we beat him. I mean, because Finley did not throw. He might have had 20 yards throwing the ball or something like that. I don't might be exaggerating. I don't remember, but yeah, the quarterbacks we have now are better than Finley. I'll tell you that, but they're still not that great. So,
right.
How many yards? Do you remember how many yards he had in that game, guys? I mean, it wasn't much.
I can't sing the top of my head.
I'm gonna look it up for you. I will tell you that it was probably not many.
Someone say 75.
Yeah, Augie said 75. I don't know. It wasn't much.
Let's see here. Yeah, against Pittsburgh. Well, he had, let's see, he was twice. It shows this was 2019, right? Or was this 2020? This was 2020, huh?
This is 2020, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
during COVID season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But here's my question:
how was 7 of 13 for 89 in a touchdown?
Woo! And like unknown here says our offensive line was a train wreck too. We still beat them.
He had more rushing attempts than
right. Right. What about running backs? No, I said how they did that night.
Say that again, Mark. What was that?
Oh, running backs, how they did that night, because he threw the ball at 75 yards. So that means maybe our running game was that good that night. We just ran the ball just right down the throat, probably.
Yeah. Gio had 25 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. Finley had 10 for 47 and a touchdown.
We ran the ball. We just say, hey, we're going to win by just pound ground, just like the old school days.
Yeah.
So, I Jackpot Browning is better than Finley. I'll take him. But yeah, I feel a little better than that. If you can just go back and look at the stats of that game, it's like, how in the hell did we win that? Oh. It was unbelievable.
Run the ball and play good defense. That's the key.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody asked in the chat, it was a while ago, I can't remember who asked, but they were wondering why the Bengals let Hayden Hurst go and did not resign him. My opinion is he got I think was the highest paid tight end contract in free agency this year. I think that's what he got. Am I right on that, AC, as far as the numbers go?
I don't know that specifically on him, but he had a 3-year deal and it was pretty lucrative, right? There are a couple reasons why in my opinion, why they didn't re-sign him. The 3-year deal that was pretty lucrative was probably tops, and the fact that I think he's 30, 31 or right around 30. Yeah. They don't like to pay, those guys that are kind of around that 30-ish year old mark. At least this staff doesn't, this brain trust doesn't with Zach Taylor, because they just, 21. I think it was 3 years. So, it was a lucrative deal for him, and he had decent stats last year as a supplemental piece in the offense. But my big, and granted, I still have high hopes for Irv Smith. I think he can turn things around.
That was my next question. So
I mean, he's there. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a little bit of a disappointment there for me, but I think he can turn things around, and I think he will turn things around. But I think it shouldn't have been just Sample and Irv Smith, and then bring back Will. I think it should have been maybe someone else in the draft, right? And
they could have drafted somebody.
There's that, or maybe there's talk of maybe adjusting things and maybe go more jumbo packages, and maybe Zach Gentry, the guy they picked up from the Steelers, huge guy,
he's huge
and was known for his blocking. Maybe he's the guy they call up at some point if they think he's going to be more effective.
I like the one. I always bring his name up, but I can't ever freaking remember his name. He's on the practice squad. He's I think he's 87. He played for the Giants last year.
Oh,
I do this every time I talk about it. I can't remember his name. I really liked him in preseason.
Tanner Hudson?
Yes, Tanner Hudson. Thank you.
Yeah.
I liked him in preseason. I thought he made some pretty good plays and stuff. And he can run block. He can block because he was out there blocking for Saquon last year. So that's one guy that I would like to see them try to give a shot to, because I think he has some good hands, and I would like that. Now, Irv Smith, like I said, he's been a little disappointing. 2 plays that he had. If he makes those plays, that game is totally different. The whole shot in the first quarter where he can't get the second leg down, and then the other, I think it was a screen pass where if he gets out of that shoestring tackle, if he gets out of that AC, he might go to the house, dude. I mean, they're running right toward us in the end zone we sit in. I mean, if not, it's a big game. Those are 2 huge things that you're like in this offense. We don't use the tight end that much. When you get a shot, you got to catch the ball and you got to make a play. And that's where I've been kind of disappointed with Irv Smith.
Yeah, I think he catches that. He comes down with that ball on that very first offensive drive. You're talking about a different game in general. I think, that is the early spark that the Bengals needed. And I mean, that would have been 20 plus, 30 plus yards, I think. It was a pretty big play that was negated. He came close, but just couldn't get that other foot down. And I don't think I'm exaggerating in saying you're talking about maybe even a different result in general.
Right. Those 2 plays.
If he makes that play. Yeah. So, I mean, that other one too. Yeah. He kind of looked like he had a wide open field and made a move, and the guy just kind of barely hit his toe or something, and he fell, and you're just like, oh man, if only you could extend those plays. But those are the things when you're struggling that even if you are a good team and you're struggling, those are indicative of you're just things not going your way, right? And so you gotta hope that the fortunes turn here for the Bengals and they start making those extra plays. And like I said, I think Smith will integrate well a little bit down the road here. At least that's my hope.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you really just take Joe Burrow's calf out of this, if you actually go back and watch the game, it is a typical AFC North game. And that's the thing I keep want to try to tell everybody. They only beat us by 3 points. And it reminds me a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's different last year because of Burrow's injury. It reminds me the same. It's just like last year. I mean, last year we lost to the Steelers in game 1 by 3 points. We got our ass kicked by the Cowboys in week 2. This year was kind of the opposite. We kind of got our ass kicked in Cleveland, and we lost to the Ravens by 3 points. It's kind of the same thing, and things are starting to come around offensively now. Who make what? Where I saw it? Oh yeah. No, thank God. I saw it. Someone's asking, we're going to see Joe Burrow. Here it is. I don't even know how to say your name. My whatever. My Prozan. I don't know. He wants to know if it's really going to be Joe Burrow or a shell of himself. Nobody knows. I mean, it depends on how he can handle the pain tolerance of his leg and if he even plays. I mean, there's no one's saying he's actually for sure playing Monday. We don't know yet. So it will be kind of interesting to see what Joe can do, and that's going to dictate the game plan too. What can Joe do? Can he push off on his leg to take those deep bombs? That's where I'm like, the running game could be a big factor in this to just protect Joe himself, so he doesn't have to do that. What do you guys say? What do you think about that?
I agree. And that's. It may also be, not just Mixon. You may need to figure out how the other backs are going to fit in. Maybe this isn't a good Chris Evans game. I know we talked about Travion helping out in pass pro, and that's important. But if you feel like you can, again, you want to get the ball out quickly to negate Aaron Donald and his effect in the game, maybe you use Evans in the slot. You use him as an outlet to really kind of get a few yards here and there and get the rhythm going again on offense and feel like Joe Burrow's finding a pace, and maybe he can kind of be that point guard that we've seen where he can kind of distribute and pick his weapons. Evans, John Sheeran and myself on our show, we always marvel at Chris Evans, like touchdowns per pro touch or touchdowns per. Right. It's like astounding because he doesn't get a lot of time, but somehow that like when he's in a game plan, he'll like score. I don't know. It's
that's why I wish they'd play him more. I'm like, every time he's in there, he does something. So. All right, let's roll to the Ring of Honor, which we do have that coming up Monday. So the White Bengal game, but the Ring of Honor, we got 2 of our legends from 2 different eras, but 2 of the great Bengals in Bengals history. We got Boomer Esiason and Chad Ochocinco Johnson there. AC, what's your thoughts, memories of Boomer and Chad and just the Ring of Honor and all that stuff.
Oh, Boomer, the blonde mullet, man. that bright blonde mullet coming out of that helmet. And I remember him playing in some of those snow games. I mean, again, being in Southern California, we don't get a lot of that weather, but I remember when he would sit there and call the audibles or call, plays at the line, that sort of thing. The steam kind of coming out of the mouth at the really cold days and, beating up on the Oilers and all kinds of stuff. I think he and Sam Weish were just kindred spirits, man. Yeah. I really do. They were wacky. They were creative. They were offensive geniuses, and they were just made for each other. And then they were mouthy.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were mouthy.
Oh,
they didn't shy away from the microphones. Mm-hmm. And they're guys that if they're your guys on your team, you absolutely love them. And if you're on another team or a rival, you don't like them so much. So Boomer, I have a real soft spot for him, obviously. And one of the things that I don't know if people talk about it a lot, but if you remember his days playing, he was absolutely incredible at selling the play action fake.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Left-handed too.
Take out cameras all the time, and I mean, it was absolutely incredible to watch him do that. Engineered a really, innovative offense, obviously under Weish, and then of course, what else is there to say about Chad? Chad's Chad. Didn't end the greatest when he left Cincinnati, but he made the Bengals cool again. He made the Bengals cool again, quite honestly, after 15 years of them not being cool. He kind of got a little off the rails at some of the things he was doing, but hey, he was having a hell of a time doing it. He could talk the talk because he was, for the most part, walking the walk. I know the playoff wins weren't there, but the All-Pros, the Pro Bowls, the stats, I think when it's all said and done, it's going to take him a while, but he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mark, what's your thoughts on Boomer and Chad?
Well, about Boomer, I was born in 1990, so I was little, so I don't remember, but I watched some game films and all that stuff. Boomer, he was a heck quarterback. I mean, maybe could be a Hall of Fame. He'd probably be a Hall of Famer down the road, so hopefully soon. But it just, like his AC say, that often, that West Coast, that no huddle, they just click and kind of like change the dynamics of football. Just no huddle, just quarterback calling plays on the fly and everything. Like, and should have won that Super Bowl that's in Miami and all that stuff. Just but
Boomer played better, we would have won. I mean, sorry, he didn't have a very good game that Super Bowl. I remember that.
So I mean, Boomer, heck, quarterback, did good. Like him, Sam Weiss had a great relationship. Goof around, have fun, all that stuff. And Chad Johnson being Chad, making heck of play, doing spectacular, doing celebration touchdown. But he was a good player. And the funny part, Carson Palmer know that he don't run the route right, but Carson still follow the ball because he's wide open. Not even following the playbook, not even following out, just doing his own thing. But the funny part, Carson Palmer know that, hey, I know that's that good connection. I was like, oh, they're going to throw the ball where I know he's going to be at, So Chad just did his own thing and all that. But at the same time, he did. I love the talk smack. I love that, he challenged defense backs. Like, you know what? Can you beat me? Like in a couple one-on-one on stuff. So, yeah. And he made it fun. Like he said, he made it fun for us in that early 2000, in late 2000 year, which we won the playoff game with him and all that stuff. So, but Chad just being Chad, having fun, doing his own thing, calling Marloons, calling Hugh Jackson at 4 o'clock in the morning, say, hey, I'm open, hang up and all that stuff. I was a coach. I'd be yelling at Chad, like, Chad, you call me all the time. I'm about
You're a psychopath, dude. Leave me alone. Yeah.
He did that stuff. And, he left in the facility for the first, his first 2 3.
Hold on. CD, Corey Dillon said that wasn't true on the show Monday. So I don't know how true that exactly is. He might be. Corey Dillon told me, he said, man, he'd be lying to y'all. He didn't say he didn't live at the facility. So I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't matter either way. It's a good story. Like Jeff Hobson said yesterday, why let details get in the way of a good story? But one thing I will tag team on what Hobson said yesterday about Boomer and Chad. Both these guys were rule breakers and trendsetters. The no huddle offense, and I know, Mark, you weren't around this, but AC, you remember, in the 88 AFC Championship game, they banned it. They wouldn't let us do it.
Dude, in that playoff run, 2 teams were faking injuries because they couldn't keep up with it.
Yes.
It was the Seahawks in the wild card round, and then the Bills in the championship round. It was like unbelievable. They had Anyway, yeah.
I get so ticked off and then the next year all of a sudden it's the K gun, which drives me freaking nuts when they're like, "Oh, the Bills started this no huddle offense." Bullshit. No, they didn't. It started in Cincinnati and it was called the Sugar Huddle. It wasn't called the stupid K gun. But I mean, that offense is, the offense we have of today. Everybody runs that, and that's where they're innovative. Chad, innovative with the touchdown celebration stuff. They got banned for a while. He couldn't do it. Now everybody does it. So these guys, not only great players, but they changed the game as far as the way the game's played, the way Boomer did, and how you can celebrate the way what Chad did now. And those are things that I always take pride in as being a Bengals fan. Is like there's a lot of stuff that happened in Cincinnati that has changed the NFL.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I think some of it, unfortunately, has come at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of rule changes and crap like that. But Mark brought up a really good point, and I know there was maybe you feel like in some ways the Palmer Johnson, in a lot of ways, you feel like the potential just wasn't fully reached, obviously because there's no playoff wins and all that kind of stuff. But injuries and all kinds of different factors were going on with the team. But I remember to Mark's point where they had such a tight connection at one point in this offense, where Palmer would throw the ball and Chad hadn't even turned out of a break yet.
Right.
And that ball ended up
right there.
I mean, when he looks, it's boom. It's right there. And that was a lot of out routes, a lot of like curl route. They had it so dialed in at one point at its peak that they knew exactly what they were doing. And yeah, Chad would freelance, I think, at times. And that would maybe, I think that would frustrate Carson a little bit. But, they when they had that thing clicking, and Chad's feet were working at their best. I mean, remember his feet were unbelievable. There was, some of the prettiest plays really in Bengals offensive history that were made by those two, quite honestly. And
there was Go ahead. Well, I remember Carson Palmer and all them guys. I think we have like a bye week, and Chad and Carson Palmer went to Indianapolis, watched Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. You guys probably know that story. And they watched them the whole time, how they was on the field and how they react off the field. And Carson Palmer say that Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne went to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning came to them and talked about, what happened in that last drive, what they need to do and all that stuff. And I think that Carson Palmer, Chad, all them guys, ball that's like, hey, we need to do that. Off the sideline, we need to talk, I need to come to you, talk like, hey, I saw this something different. That's good. And that's how they build that chemistry and all that stuff. Because they watched Peyton Manning come in. Peyton Manning is a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame and all that stuff. And Marvin Harrison, too, was a beast. Why? So you look at his son, Marvin Harrison Jr., for the highest say, he's just like his dad and all that stuff. And that's connection. I think that Chad Johnson and Palmer, that's how they got coached, because they went to the Colts game because we had that bye week, and they watch how they react to it off the field, how they talk to each other, how they, also they didn't just sit on one side. They actually, read whatever, look at the paper, and then after that they talk about, hey, look, like if we see this cover again, run this route, be over here and all that stuff. So yeah, that's just amazing story how them guys went to Indianapolis, watch them play, Payman, and how they bond that back to them and how they connected, how they did their own things and all that stuff.
I'll bring a couple of comments here, which these are things that also started in Cincinnati. Ken Anderson, Bill Walsh, the Cincinnati Coast offense, the West Coast offense. It started with Bill Walsh here in Cincinnati. And then, again, I'm sorry, I cannot say your name, but Paul Brown was the first coach to put radio inside the helmets. So, I mean, yeah, there's so many innovative things that started right here in Cincinnati. And the radio helmets were actually in Cleveland, but still, Paul Brown's, associated with us now. But those are the cool things that I always take pride in, as far as there's actually innovative stuff happened here, and they changed the game. So I can't wait till Monday. I mean, like I said, it looks like maybe Joe's gonna play. I don't know. But
he's playing.
We'll see. I hope so. You guys been on for almost an hour. AC, I know you got orange and black tonight. What time is that?
In 59 seconds.
Oh, well, you got to get going then. Well,
I'm good. I don't. You are like Mr. Prompt with your start. I'm like, whatever. It's 5 minutes late. I get like guests on and stuff, and I'm like, they can wait. I don't know. I'm just rude like that.
I try to be on. When I say 5:30, I mean 5:30. So, well, I'm gonna get you the hell off here so you can go do your show then. All right?
Yeah, so AAC, great to meet you, man. I hope I meet you in person, mate. You gonna be there Monday, correct?
I'm gonna try. It's
okay. If I do, I hope I can.
It's mine and my wife's birthday weekend, so I'm trying to figure it out. But I do look forward to meeting you. I got to get my ass out to a game out there very, very soon. I tried to go last week, trying to go this week. It's just a lot of moving parts, but I'm gonna get out there soon. And we gotta hang. We gotta hang. Mark, good catching up with you. Yeah, you're the man, buddy.
Appreciate you, AC. See you, man. Buddy.
See you, AC.
All right, Mark. Tell everybody where they can follow you at, and where they can send, some rubbing alcohol or whatever you need on your arm, so you can be ready to get your arm going and not pull a muscle here.
Right. Well, they want it. Well, I mean, I might not give my address, but you want to give me some at Longwell Hall? I'll be there at noon. We can be tailgating and all that stuff. Follow me on Facebook. I'm trying to do a different thing, trying to get my own page to throw down guy. I need to talk to Chris Neat's son, Kyle. He's supposed to get that done, but I need to get on his case. Because everybody's trying to add me, so I need to make another separate page. All that stuff. So follow me on Facebook, Twitter. I got Snapchat. I'm trying to do my best to twit more and all that, to X more, but I mean, it's just like, and, like I said, we're going to be starting early at tailgate. So, and great news. I'm going to say this. So we did our first raffle last Sunday.
Yep. We
sold a Joe Nixon autograph jersey, and I think we did like whining and all that stuff. But we raised $1,500 for Lighthouse and all that stuff. Woo! First time doing that, Jeff. First time doing that.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. And I love about Longwell Hall, because Longwell Hall is different people all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, lots and all that stuff. We love it, but it's the same people we see over and over. But Longwell Hall is different people. I mean, you see the same people, Jeff. You see things, but it's different people all the time. Yeah. And this upcoming Monday we're doing a raffle for Chad Johnson. Ooh. So I'm gonna get down early. I'm gonna help out Jeff. I forget what foundation we're doing this week, so I gotta look up. But guys, support what we're trying to support these foundations. We're doing something local. We're gonna get back to the community. I mean, we raised $1,500, and I told Chris, hey, we're gonna try to double it. And my butt's gonna be out there trying to raffle. I got there late. I got there around 8-something. Because I was watching.
That's terrible, Mark. You're supposed to be there by 6 a.m. 6 o'clock. You're supposed to be there.
Well, yeah, I know, but I only got like 3 hours sleep and all that stuff. But guys, like definitely come to Longwood, or I will come to you. We'll sell raffle, get a chance to win the Chad Johnson jersey, and we won Joe Nixon jersey. One of my buddies from work. So listen to this, guys. If you don't have to be there to win, so you want somebody to enter your name raffle, give them the money. Write the name down, and we pick you out. We will find you. We will find you with your delivery and all that stuff.
They will find you.
Jeff, like, if you're not there, all that stuff, that's okay. And we call you in, we'll find you and all that stuff. Or you have buddies and they, hey, I'll give you money and all that stuff, cash app, bill mail, all that stuff. So, you don't have to be there to win. Like, we will contact you, we will find you, and we'll find a way. Cause like, they gave me that Joe Nixon jersey, I gave it to my buddy that at work and all that stuff, so yeah. Yeah, wow. You don't have to be there winning all that stuff. If you want somebody to, cash out, Zelle, somebody, and do all that stuff, that's fine. That's Danny, But guys, we're doing something great this year on tailgate, and I'm proud of my tailgate. I'm proud of the Bingo Bomb Truck. First time doing that, raised $1,500. That is amazing. Yeah, amazing. And I'm proud of Christy. I'm proud. Go ahead.
Hold on a second. I got breaking news from Adam Schefter. He's saying former Cowboys quarterback Will Greer is signing with the Patriots on an active roster per sources. This is from Adam Schefter. So
speaking of, you see on Small Dick torn his ACL during practice.
Yeah, but Will Greer's our third string quarterback. We don't have it's gonna be Jake Browning and
shoot, really?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Will Greer looks like he's not. Yeah, according to Adam Schefter, Will Greer is signing with the Jay Morrison says Trevor Siemian on live one. Wow, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, so, like Carson Wentz, he's still in the free agency, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why not pick him up? I mean, he'd be I mean, just in case. I mean, you can look back. The Eagle when Carson Wentz torn his ACL. Nick Boyd came in, lead them to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. But I don't know Carson Wentz going to do that.
That matter. Joe's playing.
Joe's playing. Let's just
playing. We'll be fine.
I'd rather have an 80% of Joe Burrow, 9% than I mean, I agree. I think he's going to play. It's just going to be limited practice tomorrow, and then maybe before go. And then walk through. You don't do any kind of like physical stuff. You just go through plays and all that stuff, schemes and all that stuff. But he's going to play on Monday, and we'll get that win, and we're going to start a winning streak and all that stuff. We're going to start right here, right now.
Exactly. Sounds good to me, Mark. Hey, I appreciate you, buddy. I will see you in the jungle, probably at Longworth for a little while. You have a wonderful day.
Yep, you too, Jeff.
Who day, brother?
Who day, buddy?
All right, guys. So like I said, we have breaking news from Adam Schefter that Will Grier is signing with the Patriots to their active roster. So I don't know. That's it's gonna be either Joe Burrow or Jake Browning now. It looks like. So that's kind of surprising. I kept seeing it in the chat, so I finally looked up on my phone. I'm like, wow, all right, Adam Schefter, right? If he says it, I believe him. So that's kind of surprising. So, well, we'll see. Like I said, I really think Joe's going to play, but I don't know. Not a doctor. We'll see. Anyway, let's get the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. They are Who Day Nation, Who Day Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and then you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. You say it's fake, Joe? Oh, yeah, it's Adam Schefter. I mean, Ben Baby retweeted it. All the fake fans need to go. Oh, yes, all the fake fans need to go. I agree with that. I thought you were talking about the fake account. Sorry, you messed me all up. Follow me on my social media platforms, all our Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, TikTok. Twitter X is at Jeff A. Trunable. TikTok is at Iceman90. Also on Threads. All those under Sports with Strawberry Ice. Pulling the sound off later on tonight, putting on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment some more since that fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, like I said, you guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,358 subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports Strawberry Ice. Please, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, if you don't have a YouTube subscription, it's free. Please go there, find my channel, subscribe. When you do, hit the likes, hit the subscription buttons. All that stuff helps. Like 7 likes. If I can get it up to like 10, 20, 30 likes, that'd be great because it helps the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you watching the show. Tomorrow, actually, I'm not sure who I have on tomorrow for my Fun Football Friday show. We'll have to find out. I'm trying to reach out to CD, see if he wants to come back on. I got a couple other people in the works. We'll see what happens. But, hey, maybe it'll just be you and me, and we'll have some fun there. All right, guys. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Go watch some Thursday Night Football, and I will see you here tomorrow at 5:30. Other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a woozy, eh? It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it out to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog? They gotta